Good evening, YouTube. I'm Dave, and today I'm going to go over what we've been hearing leaks about the new Age of the Primes line for next year. So, I guess, over the course of the day, we've had some leaks come out. I'm looking at the ones over on TFW 2005 for the listings here, and I've gone and, pulled up some images of the different characters that are supposedly coming out next year. And so far, the list looks to be pretty much on point for what we're really expecting. I mean, we got to finish out the rest of the 13 primes, and we still got some, other combiner members to, keep coming out. So let's go ahead and we'll go ahead and look into this here. So, well, anyways, so here's TFW 2005, even though I think I am on the wrong screen here. See, I was trying to find out where my Cronus is in this because I don't. The thing I can't remember if he's been listed for this year yet, but he's not on the listings for next year yet. So but for all we know, he could be a pack-in with one of the other toys too. So if he's my Cronus was always a small dude. So let's see if I can get back to where I was supposed to be here. Okay, here we go. So spoilers for a bit of the list right here. But let me go ahead and pull up the images I got for each of the characters here. Okay, so starting off, with the deluxe size class, I'm going to go by the size classes here, by that way they had them listed on the site here. So here's a image of Transformers 1's version of Quintus Prime. If this is what we're going to get, I don't know. It's Quintus is not had a really solid depiction in all media, kind of a multi-arm thing going on, but you know, it's been, we don't know, we haven't really had a good solid version of him. This, image from like one of the trading cards for Transformers 1 is probably like one of our best looks at him other than, the like kind of impressionist artwork of the Covenant of Primus here. Anyways, let's go ahead and hit on to the next image here. So here we have the Generation 1 Sure Shot Target Master, which cool, it's cool to get another Target Master out there. I'm not sure if Sure Shots had much toy love in like at Generations at all. I considering when we had the whole like Target Master like Redux thing and the like War for Cybertron thing, I don't think he ever got any love back then. Or if he did, I was completely oblivious to it. But anyways, nice to see another one back in here. Okay, and here's where we start with the combiners again. It- you know, we've already known that Vortex is coming out this year. So blast off, here has to be sometime in the near future because, he's another one of the Combaticons. Whether or not we're gonna get, I'm hoping they don't, mess with the classic deal and just make him a space shuttle from the beginning. The whole like turning him into a jet last time in Combiner Wars and then going back and doing the space shuttle was kind of a mess. No one really liked it for the most part. Okay, here's the one where I'm happy. Beast Wars Quick Strike. I actually do have the vintage one up above me, but he's kind of buried at the moment. But anyways, I love me my Beast Wars, and especially when you got the show characters. Quick Strike was one of the only well, I say the only two, but no, there was one more. I would say there was at least three Fusors on the show. But anyways, we'll actually see a bit of that later too, in a way. So Quick Strike was always kind of the fun, like old West rascal type of character that, was always, trying to get in good with Sugarbot Black Arachnia and it's, oh, but the whole scorpion with the cobra tail going on here was always kind of a cool design to me. Now here's a curious one because I think Smokescreen here has had some love in recent times, and there's nothing to, in the listing that, says it might be a different Smokescreen, but it could be possible we've already gotten some Prime characters. Could this be a listing for Prime Smokescreen instead of G1 Smokescreen? But I mean, either way, I mean, both I'm not super hyped for either. He was kind of a young hot rod wannabe in Prime, so but eh, we'll see. Power Glide. We haven't seen this little dude since his Legends figure in Combiner Wars. So, and anymore, the Legends class has kind of been phased out this last year. So, here he's getting the deluxe figure. I'm happy to see him again. My thing is, do I need a deluxe Power Glide? We'll see. I mean, if he has like some references to the old his starring episode with the girl who loved Power Glide, might be fun. Especially since the girl who loved Power Glide has now become a Cobra operative in the comics, so that's kind of interesting. Okay, fan favorite from IDW, we got Swerve. Here in the artwork, he's even got his nice, like, my first little blaster gun there. Whether or not he comes with that, who knows? But I imagine this is going to be in the same, I think, what was the one that just came out in the retro carded line? Was it Braun? Probably. I think that's it's either Braun or um, I've never been good with the old mini bots, but he's probably going to be a redeco or retool of that mold that just came out on that retro card. I'm kind of cool with the like old like tiny like Legends class one I had from like what was it, Thrilling 30. God, that's been ages ago since we're now on the what 40th. And here's where my another one of my favorites come in. Animated. I love Transformers animated. Like I would say animated to me is the second or third best Transformers show out there. And it's mainly because of the characters. The characters were always the best part of this. And Derek Wyatt's designs with all of them really made them. And I know you can't see it down below, but I mean, I still have my old Transformers animated, figures on display. I have the Autobots to the behind me in the lower shelves, and then I also have my Decepticons over on a bookcase to the side here. So, excuse me. Oh, that cough is still not going away. Okay. But Ratchet was always kind of fun, so hopefully they'll, keep with the trend with Optimus and, some of the later animated designs and, keep a little bit more to the animated design with them. And here's what one that might make some people mad, considering right here is the toy that, they already put out in a 4-pack. So yes, we have a listings for Transformers Prime Cliff Jumper Solo after he just came out in this Target exclusive 4-pack. I'm actually a little irked. I missed out on that 4-pack. It was sitting at my Target here and finally sold out the other day. I don't know if it ever went on clearance, but I was kind of waiting for it to. But honestly, if I can get it with just him here later on, I'll be happy. Because, I mean, I didn't need the other Tarn and like Tarantulas in that pack. Though the Squeeze Blade would have been nice. Anyways, so it's going to be, hopefully this gives another chance for the people who didn't get that figure already. Okay, this is where we start going into the Voyager size classes. And Honestly, I have no idea how they're gonna do Amalgamus. I mean, I just watched another video here that kind of they might bring back like the weaponizer type of play pattern where the bot falls apart into different pieces and reassembles to make weapons and stuff for other characters. And honestly, that probably wouldn't be a bad idea, but like we have no idea who what type of vehicle mode this would turn into. We have no idea if this bot mode here looks kind of funky in the movie artwork from Transformers 1. uh it's just, I don't know. It's one of those where I'm gonna have to see it before I actually really get excited about it, because I have no idea what they're gonna do with this. On to the next Voyager. And here's a curious one because here's another one of the Combaticons. And this goes a little weird with their play pattern here. So if Brawl here is a Voyager and all the other like limbs are deluxe class, what's going to make Brawl a Voyager? Because he's typically not usually that much bigger than the others. So I don't know. It's going to be, excuse me again, going to be a little weird because, will they add in a pack in? Maybe this is where we might, get a little Micronus tossed in, maybe? I don't know. It's just, there's no real reason for them to do Brawl and Voyager other than the, hey, tank. But I mean, he should be the same size as the rest of the deluxes. So it's like, what are they gonna toss in with him to make him feel more? Are they gonna toss in like some weaponry for the Bruticus? I mean, that's a possibility. And here we are back to animated, and probably one of my favorite side characters because we are getting animated Wreck-Gar, who in the show was voiced by freaking Weird Al Yankovic. You can even see the how they did the friggin' head there. I mean, I love that he's talking. He's a talking TV. They had so many fun points making this version and animated with the references to Weird Al and the old Transformers movie. Oh man, but and here's my first thought of it after listening to one of the other streamers. He's probably going to be a retool. They had the garbage truck junkie on here about a year or two ago, and like they're probably just gonna rehash that, give it some more, animated look. But here's hoping that they retool it excellently, kind of like they did with, what was it, Rescue Bot's Heat Wave out of the Prime Bulkhead mold they did. Sorry. Now here's another interesting one because I think this one's Voyager because of its interesting play pattern. So here is the Armada Sideways character. Excuse my notifications there. I need to turn those off while I'm recording. But I, okay, my brother's sending me stuff on Instagram, it looks like. So, anyways, here we got, the Armada Sideways, and like, he's a motorcycle, so you really wouldn't think he's that big, but what's probably putting him up into the Voyager price point is his gimmick, which if they actually try and tie it in, which if they didn't would be kind of a failure on their part, the head swapping gimmick. So Armada was all about the mini cons, right? So in this, Sideways had three different heads. His normal head, which was, out of the gate transformed out of, and then he had two mini cons. So the top one, I always thought it was weird. The minicon's legs splayed out here. But anyways, the minicon would, come plug onto head and reveal a Autobot allegiance. The middle was his like normal non-minicon one, and then the lower one is the Decepticon aligned minicon. And then on the toy, I don't know if you ever saw it in the cartoon, but the two minicons could actually combine into one little rider driver dude for the motorcycle. So I could see that, upping the price point into, from being a straight deluxe into a Voyager, kind of like, they might do a Brawl. So I'm kind of, hyped to see what they do with that one. That one, Armada has been kind of one of those lines where it's like, I like the character designs, but the toys were never, for the most part, that great, other than the few case scenarios. I like some of them, but it's like, I never thought any of them were great, except for maybe like Optimus himself. Okay, onward here. Okay, here's another curious one. We have our version of Nexus Prime. Again, I'm using the Transformers 1 artwork because honestly, if they're doing a Voyager Nexus, it doesn't make much sense to do anything but maybe this design because his classic design is he's the original combiner. So if he's a Voyager and he's the original combiner, how are they going to put that in here? Because I mean, I was presuming that we were going to get some oddball like you know maybe he's like somewhat of a like multi combiner you know wild card that you could plug in some of the other like combiner like the aerial bots or the combaticons and stuff and like mishmash them together into his combiner form or something like that with the main torso being him. But I don't know. This I him being Voyager kind of like countermands the idea because I would imagine they would have gone Commander with him because of the play pattern. But they need the Commander class this year in order to get out. Well, we'll get into it later, but you know, so if the Commander class is taken for the year, since they only do one per line, what is this gonna be like? It's like, I don't know how they're gonna do it. So it'll be curious to see how they actually get Nexus out there. Now we go into the leader class, and oh my god, yes! Okay. So a lot of you guys who don't know anything past, what's been aired in the States won't know this, but here we got Big Convoy from Beast Wars Neo. And yeah, he's a big boy. I actually have a vintage repaint from the Universe line that was repainted into a Nemesis Prime. And I've always wanted a classic version. I've never gotten a handle of it because just never got to it. And, prices have skyrocketed over the years, even after a recent re release, I believe. But if Hasbro is looking into putting old Big Convoy into the leader class for next year, I am so hyped. So if you can't tell, he's a so Beast Wars, of course. So he was a maximal commander in that show, and his alternate mode is a woolly mammoth. And oh my god, I love. Oh, it was. The only thing is, I kind of hope that this one isn't as much of a shell former because the original toy is very much shell formery. You know, and like hit like his big cannon would just come from like the middle spine of the mammoth pretty much up until completely down the nose. And I mean, but the way he transforms in the show, kind of there's not a lot of ways to get around that. I think. Funnily enough, he was also one of the first Transformer Autobot command, or well, we'll go with Cybertron commanders since this was Japanese, anyways. He was one of the first of them to actually have a removable matrix that he could actually hold. So that was kind of interesting for him. But I'll admit, kind of hope they do the like Nemesis Prime repaint like, with this guy because I mean, I still love it because that dude has like bloody tusks. I don't think they ever got away with something like that before, and I don't think I've ever seen anything since like that. So that was friggin' awesome. Anyways, onward. And here we go into the repaint leader. So we got a year ago or so we got the blah, blah, blah. Man, I am blanking right now. I know this character because it's right in front of me, but anyways, Beast Wars other like the third fuser in the show, Tigerhawk, der. So Tigerhawk, was the fusion of Tigertron and Air Razor in the show and like became this new Fusor character later on at near the like last three episodes of the show. So it didn't really get a whole lot of love in the toy line since it was right there at the tail end of Beast Wars. So when they did the Universe line, which was just straight up repaints from like everything from G1 to like the current time of the time, other than, well, yeah, they even got into some Armada repaints eventually, I think. But so this whole line was repainted, and like, you get old characters from new molds, you get, repaints of old molds into new characters. And this was the Unicron's general Razor Claw. And yes, he was basically I can't remember the fiction too well, but he was, just evil version of Tigerhawk. I don't know if their whole like, Tigertron and Ares or merging thing was still a thing, but you know, anyways, so it was an awesome looking repaint though. I mean, as so, as someone who had to like grab a few of those like original Beast Wars molds originally through the universe line repaints, I am kind of sad I missed out on the Razor Claw because that was always an awesome looking black, purple, and oh, the way they decoed it, it was just nice. And here I am so happy to see it come back. So getting towards the end here, that brings us to the Commander class. And yeah, here we go with Commander class Onslaught. So no big surprise. We knew the Combaticons were starting up here with Vortex coming out this year, and we've already went through Blast Off and Brawl earlier. So I do believe Swindle's supposed to be coming out later this year, so that should be rounding them out. So um, I mean, I've skipped most of the new age, the combiners they've done in the last few years because I just don't like that, commander class, having like the framework of the combiner to just plug the guys onto it. I'd rather have like the guys just plug into the, actual dude, not like a framework and just, be plugged on and, never been my thing. This though, I'm I love my Combiner Wars Bruticus, but for some reason, this is the only combiner that's really grabbing me to actually buy. Whether or not Onslaught's going to be one of those ones that, really push it in there for me, I don't know. But, I like the whole like combat vehicles. And honestly, Bruticus is one of the few combiners that really, hits it off for me because you have so many unique molds together. You have a tank, you have a Jeep, you have this giant, gun truck, you have the space shuttle, and then you have see Jeep. Oh yeah, the Vortex, the helicopter. Yeah. My mind's gone. So, anyways, I'm kind of looking forward to it. I don't know whether or not it's going to be, that big to me, but I probably will plunk a pre-order down on this guy. And other than that, I think that was it that I actually had for the listings here. The one thing that was on the end of this list that was kind of interesting, they're doing a Generation Selects release, and it's going to be two leader classes. Uh, I can remember one, but I can't remember the other. Let me go ahead and bring this back to bring this back here. See if I can remember where it should be right here on the bottom. Okay, here we go. Generation Selects G2, Swoop, and Sludge. So it's going to be interesting. I know they've been pushing the G2 repaints. They got Grimlock out this first wave of Age of the Primes that should be coming in the stores anytime now. I know it's been cited at a few stores in the US already. So I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's a good way to get, some, Dinobots if you missed out on them the first time, even if you don't really care for the G2, I'm not sure if I like, the G2 color schemes, but it's one of those things, it's cool for, the people who might like it. But I think that's all I'm going to do today. I'm not really hyped about the studio series. There was a big list of those going on too. A lot of 86, which some of it was kind of eh. And then, some more movie stuff that I really don't even give a damn about these days, I'll admit. So that'll do it for tonight. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed my little run through of what might be coming next year. We still don't know if this is everything's going to be locked in, but it's this is a good listing of what we've actually it's continuing what we're expecting, and because I mean we gotta get the primes out because we only got 2 years on this line, and then like we gotta get the rest of those combiners out. Some more beast characters is probably gonna be one of those things that they've been trying to get out, and they want to probably complete the core group of animated Autobots at least. Excuse me. So even though I wasn't really expecting animated Wreck-Gar, but if they already got the garbage truck, why not? Anyways, it's been fun going through these with you. I hope you guys have a good night and see y'all later.